All right. Yeah, welcome back to Factorio. Our solo playthrough continues. So, let's see. Where did we leave off here? Yeah, so I kind of gave a brief overview of my base. We walked through the various land setups that I have. And we set up, I believe this is land 4. I'm looking at this real quick. Yep, land 4 refill. Yeah, at the end of the last session. So we set up land 4. I didn't actually go and, test this out. Maybe that's something I can do really quick. There's a couple things on my plate that I'm thinking about, but it could be intertwined with this. We'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, so I'll head over to my resupply train. I didn't need to walk all the way over here, but whatever. Okay. Yeah, so we have land 4 refills set up just like we did the last time. And let's see what the train contents look like. Okay, so it seems like the only thing we're missing is some laser turrets, and that's kind of what I was alluding to just a moment ago. But we're looking good in other departments. Like, wow, that's actually a lot of bots. That actually might be problematic. I don't know why there's so many in there. It could have been like a fast start situation where it just didn't apply a condition, but yeah, actually I'm seeing like bots still coming down the line, so that's a little worrisome. I'm looking at that. Could be a half-baked something the last time I committed to this. Oh yeah, wait. I think I might understand why. I had started doing something to handle like the condition of like how many bots am I gonna bring to a train in a given period. Really any item. I can look to another as an example. There's the repair packs, and you can see I've kind of got this. It's hard to see because there's so much going on, but I'll walk you through it. So there's this big electric pole, and you can see that there's green and red wires coming from it into it. I'll get into what those represent in a second, but if you trace those, you'll see that they'll go into this decider combinator. The decider combinator has inputs and outputs, so the input side is going to be that yellow triangle coming in. Output is, of course, the other side. Out. If we look at this guy, you can see it's connected to 99 and 89. 99 red, 89 green, red and green wire that are coming in. So that's our input. And then it's outputting 110 as a red wire, which is this guy. And that wire 110 is going into this transport belt, like scanner, I guess, which is continuously reading the belt contents. And essentially, what it's looking for is an input signal, which is this check mark of 1 that's coming from red wire 110. And if it has that, then the check mark is green, essentially. Something like that. So right now, the condition is, are we less than 100 repair packs? And we're at 100, which essentially what this represents is that there's 100 repair packs currently on the train. 100 repair packs in the system. So we're only going to output this check mark when the repair packs are less than 100 on the train, essentially. And if the train is not stops. So red is equal to 0 is the same thing as not stopped. I'll get into why this makes sense later, but essentially this corresponds with the rail signal ahead of the train. So it'll go red when this train, the resupply train, is in the next junction. And what that's actually going to do is it's going to reset all the counts. So like this will get reset to 0. Yeah, it's crazy. I can go over that a bit more. But yeah, so since this is not equal to 1, there's no symbol on the bottom right indicating the signal, which just indicates that signal 0. So this is the same thing as saying 0 is equal to 1. And if 0 is equal to 1, essentially it disables the belt. That's what this is doing. So, yeah, if the train resets, this will go back to 1 because we'll have less than 100 repair packs. Because again, this will be reset to 0, and the signal it'll turn to 1, and then it'll come back to 0 when the train leaves. Yeah, the whole long-winded thing. This is what works for me, but there's probably other ways to do it. Okay. Oh yeah, and then finally that signal gets output as a green wire, and that gets fed back into the system. That's basically just keeping track of the count. So as items come through, they get scanned, boom, they get scanned, boom, they get scanned. So that's just essentially keeping count of the repair packs and sending them back to another arithmetic combinator, which is basically just like a giant calculator for keeping track of all the totals that are in the system going out of the train. Okay, so yeah, long-winded way of saying I need this guy. So I'm going to actually grab him, and I'll put him right here. And let me actually flip it around, because I think that's going to make more sense for this. So he's going to take in both the red and the green wire, like I was saying. You can see 99, 89. And since I copied it over, it's got all of the same conditions and outputs, which is nice. So that's kind of like a feature of the blueprint system that we talked about in the last video. But instead of repair packs, I'm concerned with construction bots, or what I called engineering bots before in the first video. Really, construction bots. So construction bots, they're going to be under logistics, construction robots. And then I'll give it some condition. I think for now, 100 is fine. Oh yeah, and it looks like... Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess it was already... Oh, weird. Did I have a scanner somewhere? Yeah, that's weird. I actually don't know. Huh. Yeah, I'm a little confused by something. I don't know why. Oh, because it's less than 100. Duh, my own logic. So yeah, of course that's green. Because there's no signal, so I literally just said this. If there's no signal, it's 0. So 0 is less than 100, so that's why it's green. Check. So we're outputting a check mark. Okay, cool. So that's working as intended. But now, let's just see how I did. I think it was output as a red signal. Or red wire. Let me just... Yeah, outputting a red wire. I want to keep things consistent. So now what I want to do is I want to look at like this belt. And what I'll do is I'll take that red wire, connect it to the output, and then connect it directly to the belt. And that'll set up like one of these belt scanners. I'll go on there, add the enable disable condition, and I'll also read the belt contents, which will allow me to keep track of the totals of each item that goes through this belt. And then under the belt condition, select construction robots. Or actually not construction robots, simplify this to be check mark. And gotta remember my own logic here. So, right. So it's outputting 1. So if this is equal to 1, and again, this probably I probably did this differently. But yeah, as long as this is equal to 1, let robots flow. And we should be keeping track of them now. Oh, we're not, because, again, we need to connect the scanner, its count, back into the network. And now we should start to see the totals. If I go to this side, yes. Okay, so you can see there's 1, 2, And just as these are coming through the scanner, the signal is being propagated. And then I'll actually do a segue here, and I'll show you where this is getting kept track of. But essentially, the green signal, we go all the way back here. Yeah, my place is a mess. These walkways, they're, I mean, okay, I guess I'm making use of these belts, but that's just a misappropriation of space because they used to be more walkable. Of course, if you're going the other direction, you're gonna go slower, so that sucks. Really, like, oh, I'm just walking on plain whatever. So that kind of sucks. But oh well. Oh yeah, right. So there's a couple combinators. So these two, these are keeping track of my totals. So you can see that green wire, this is the same green wire as we saw before. So this is feeding in and out the totals so they can be read. The totals come into this first combinator, which is an arithmetic combinator. And all this guy is doing is saying, like, okay, take every input and add 0 to it. And I'd be going like, well, why the fuck would I do that? Well, you can do stuff with the output. It's weird. Essentially, if you were to just loop this back into itself, this is a way to keep a running total because, like there's like ticks, like CPU ticks or what have you, like, you know, like X many ticks in a second is like a clock cycle, yada, 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 yada. It's the same concept. But every tick, this operation is going to get ran. And what happens is it's a way to essentially keep the signal propagating within the confines of this combinator. So if you do that, if you hook the output back into the input, like essentially I'm doing here, but adding a step, it's a way to keep that signal in the system and thus keep your running total. So if I didn't have the output connected back to the input, you would see these just flash and go away. Like, oh, 1 and then nothing, 1, then nothing, 1, then nothing. And now because I'm connecting it up, you can see that we're keeping a running total here. And that's why this construction robot count is going up. It's staying consistent. Now I'm going to add, now that you kind of understand that, I'm going to throw a wrench in the mix. So this thing is called a gate, I think is the term, but it's just in another arithmetic combinator. So yeah, I'm going to add something to the mix here. So again, if I was just connecting input to output on the first one, that's keeping track of the total, right? So instead, what I'm doing is I'm taking the output of the first one and roping it into the input of the second one. And now I'm saying, okay, multiply that by R with a value of 1. Okay, what the hell? This is algebra. I don't love this. That's fine. That's fine. Really? This is just 1. The times 1. Again, why are you doing that? Well, this R stands for reset. So if R is actually 0, it's going to take everything and multiply it by 0. That's why it's a reset signal. Maybe you're starting to understand. So if you multiply by 0, it's going to clear all these out, right? So 19 times 0, 0. So that's going to say that there's no signals when I loop this output from the second combinator back into the input. So this R allows me to reset the signal. Okay, cool. You might be getting it now. Like, okay, like times 1, we keep the signal. So that's just standard operating procedure, whatever. R times 0, wipe all the signals. So how and why R. Okay, so like why or how R is these two. So more combinators. So these are decider combinators. So what this is doing is it's getting cut off, but there's actually a rail signal here. This guy, like I showed in the last video. And there's a red wire coming from that rail signal into these two decider combinators. The first decider combinator is saying, okay, that rail signal, if the rail signal has a red signal, which is the same thing as saying red is equal to 1. the red signal equal to 1, then output an R of 0. So that's our reset. This other decider combinator is saying the opposite. So, well, kind of, because there's also yellow. But if it's green, so green is equal to 1, then output R of 1. Again, that's just another like multiplication by 1 at the other side. So what that's doing is allowing us to continue. Again, there's probably a way to simplify this, but that's just what I came up with in the intro, because circuitry is pretty complicated even on its own. But yeah, all you need to know is if this train leaves, this signal turns red, this rail signal turns red, that's going to propagate the signal. This guy will be 0, so nothing, which actually might be enough for us, to be honest. I'm thinking about this. I might have to play with that. But otherwise, in the other condition, really there's like 2 ifs. That's bad. But in this if condition, if it stopped, then output 0. Again, I don't even think we need this, but I'm going to keep it for now. There's probably a way I can simplify that. Yeah, so that just allows me to reset the count every time the train leaves. So the reason I want to do that is so I can keep running totals only for the lifetime of while this train is docked. So that way I can kind of keep the demand of whatever ceiling I've set for these items. So like you can see I've kind of set them for the other ones. Like, okay, I should only have 100 repair packs on this train, 50 gun turrets on this train. Substations, I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not 19. It's probably like 50. But that kind of indicates like, oh, we're not producing enough of those. And then same thing with laser turrets, which is the other issue that I got sidetracked from. So let's go back to laser turrets and kind of see what the problem is. And I have a couple of inclinations as to why. Really, it was coming back to an iron throughput problem, which it's kind of an evolving situation. Like, it even changed from the last video. Now you can see I'm grabbing most of my iron pretty quickly. It's not really getting processed on this main line. It is coming up this way. And what's happening? Well, we're making a ton of steel here. Not that much. Okay. So we could probably make more steel, but I was running into something before when trying to add more steel. I might have just been taking too much off the top. I can see that my circuit production is fine. I was having trouble with this too, because at one point I remember I was taking so much iron that it wasn't making it to my green circuits. But it seems like that's kind of sorted itself out. I think it's kind of tangential to what's going on with my ammo line, which I actually turned off. I may want to turn this back on for testing and then like only use 2, because I still want to keep a continuous line going, even if it's not at the same rate or whatever. I just want to make sure that like I have some coming on to the belt. Yeah, so now we can see like that line starting to go, because everything else is either at max capacity, like my green and red science. It's kind of stuck right now because it's waiting on other science to get produced, which is bad. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. Yeah, and I gotta help this guy at some point. Oh, you know what? Yeah, this is becoming more of an emergency. Look at this. See all these, like, health bars? That means they're getting desperate. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about this. That's not good. That means they're out of repair packs. Or bots. Or both. Nope, they have bots. So yep, no repair packs. Yeah, if I don't do something soon, they're gonna break through this wall, and then all hell's gonna break loose because they're gonna start destroying all my turrets. Yeah, I might have to do like a partial solution, and then worry about the iron corridor that I mentioned in the last video. Yeah, lots of going on, lots to keep track of. But that's kind of the fun of this sort of like challenge I've set for myself. Is like I made I made the bugs so aggressive that I just have to constantly be thinking on my feet like an engineer. So yeah, this is another side effect of engineering. You really get lost in your soapbox events. Now I forgot what I was doing, but yeah, I think so my laser turrets. I want to make sure that I'm getting enough throughput here, and I think iron is the problem. I can always trace back and see like what is going on with that. I know it's coming through this line, and it looks like I have some coming through, but it might be that we have. There's a couple things going on, but I think the main thing is like there's just not enough throughput for my iron, and there's a multitude of different reasons why that might be the case, but I have to backtrack to kind of know for sure. Okay, so it's ultimately coming from this line. Yeah, this line is super long, so that makes sense why I might not be getting enough. It might just be the case that there's just like so much. I might have to steal from another line or something, because like the other ones are less important. Like we were just kind of walking through backwards. Like again, I'm a beginner, man. Like I don't know like what the best design is, and just kind of like using designs that I know have worked and trying to figure out like what breaks, which is fun in and of itself. I mean, I know this is spaghetti, but you know, uses you good design principles by working through the bad. Okay, so yeah, rather than going through, and there's other solutions that can help with this too, but I want to try to simplify this a little bit. So the electric furnaces, those are pretty complex. They're not really getting any iron. Before that, the iron's being used to produce bot frames. And I think I needed this many, so I don't really want to mess with that just yet. And I can see that it's making through all these, no problem. So what else can I do? Well, again, let's keep tracing here. So let's go back. And it's coming from here. It's coming from here. Yeah, like this is insane. Yeah, I'm even making engines with these. Yeah, I feel like it's just, you know, I've got like, you think about it in terms of nodes, like one, so like it's like engines, flying robo frames, and then electric furnaces. Just going through like 3 different layers to actually get to my output. That being said, I'm not producing that much iron. So, you know, one solution is like, okay, well, you need more iron, then bump up your iron. Like, or, no, sorry, steel. You don't have enough steel, then produce more steel. But we can already see that, like, even with just the 2 gun turret ammo lines going, now I'm starting to lose some throughput here. Because, yeah, it's getting sucked up pretty bad. And then that'll later on affect my green circuits, so you can see that starting to get a little slow. I guess one more thing that I'll do, because again, I don't need like a super constant supply. Like I can probably turn off this one too, and as long as I'm just producing like 1 ammo with like the most basic setup, like I feel like that's all I really need for now. I just want to make sure that I have a constant stream there and I can throw these on if there's an emergency. And I really need ammo, but I'm gonna start to switch to laser turrets as like a mitigation strategy. So like, all right, cool. Like now we're already getting a lot more throughput, it seems. Okay, so I feel comfortable maybe adding a bit more steel production to the system now that I've done that. So it's just like cause and effect. Like, okay, like little incremental decisions to see if I can make this system a little bit more efficient. And eventually I'm going to replace these guys with electric furnaces too, so I don't have to use the coal. But, you know, right now coal isn't like, I'm not in an emergency where I can't use coal. Like, I have a pretty good abundance of coal at the moment. Yeah, I still have 36 million. Basically, this whole patch, I barely touched it. I've only got a couple of drills. Versus if you go to Big Gus's ore yard, like, I'm pumping that whole thing. And yeah, like almost like a third of these or whatever, they're empty. Hence why this symbol's here. So that's not good. Like, that's kind of what I alluded to in the last video as well. Is like, I really want to get to this 24 patch eventually, sooner if not later, because I'm chugging through this, because that's just how massive, dire of a need I have for iron. Okay, but in the interim, steel is doing better. There's a word I'm looking for, but I can't think of it or saying. But it's like a slow start. Like, it sucks because you can't just see the immediate results of the design decisions that you make. You kind of have to like let it play out for a little bit, like literally like seconds or minutes, because you know this will have cause and effect. Like I just added one of these. Well, does that affect my? I just added another furnace. Well, does that impact my throughput to my green circuits? I don't know. That's a side effect of this design. I could go with, I know, like a bus design that kind of alleviates this, because then you can really troubleshoot what's going on more easily, instead of just like, oh, pass the iron through every single conveyor line to figure out what the problem is. Like, that just adds complexity. But, you know, it's fun. Learn a lot this way. Yeah, this doesn't seem too bad. Like, this still seems pretty manageable. I want to see if steel is still a problem before I move forward, but there are other things that I can do. Like, the next thing I would say is, like, okay, I'm starting to reach max capacity here, just in terms of, like, space. So I could throw, like, you see how these, this electric furnace has some blue, what are called speed modules. I have 2 of them. Those will actually increase the speed of production. I have 2 of these, and each one adds like 20% speed to the, I guess, like, it's confusing. It's like it's reducing the amount of time that it takes to produce something by 20%. It's weird. It's really like minus 20% time to produce your item. So really, it's like minus 40 with 2 of these. Almost half, so that's really good. So it's like a 1.5 speed bump or something like that. Or speed boost, I should say, not bump. The steel, how's it doing now that I've given that a second? Well, it's still not reaching my laser turrets, which is a bit concerning, but I'm definitely getting more into the system. How's it being handled up here? Seems like there's more coming through that even the flying robo frames are taking. So that's what I wanted to see. So that's like, okay, check mark, it's looking a little bit better. I'm guessing that all of these electric furnaces still aren't really touching them. So yeah, we might still have a bit of an issue. I'm a bit concerned with this. I have a feeling like, I don't know. Yeah, we're definitely getting some more in the system, but I feel like I need to bump this a little bit more. So far, it's looking decent. I think what I'll do first, I want to stick with like normal, like, okay, like let's do little things at a time. Like, okay, like let me replace this guy. Oops. Yeah, should use the delete. That's fine. So electric furnace. Pop that tab down. I won't need coal for this. So what I can instead do is probably something like this. Okay. And Okay, I just replaced one for one. Which might think like whatever, but now I can add speed modules to this guy because I feel like this lane isn't getting used enough versus the other lane. That's kind of why I did it this way. So now let's take like 2 speed modules, throw them on, and then just let's let this play out for a little bit. I think the main thing is I don't want to take too much from this bottom lane. I want to take more from the top lane. And the reason is because I want to make sure that I'm still getting circuits, because those are also a critical resource. And basically, my whole circuit production is going on over here for the entire base. Both green and red, which are super important. Green feeds into red, and then both of them feed into just about everything. Okay. How are these furnaces doing? Are they getting more iron now? Doesn't really look like it. But again, this stuff takes time. Oh, wait, here we go. I'm seeing a few more. It's still not great. Hmm. Yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll delete these guys. Do a little bit more hacking. Suchai. Something like that. Okay, let's see. Crafting speed 2, crafting speed 2.8. Yes, it's honestly better to have 2 solos than one with 2 speed modules, at least if I'm interpreting this correctly. Like, if I was to actually plus 40%, if I was to take these out, yeah, it's really like... With 3 versus... Yeah, it's like the same. Yeah, they've got like the same productivity, so you don't really get too much gain, except I can now throw on these modules, which I can't do with just the regular steel furnaces. Ooh, I do see an optimization here. Like, what if I was to go... Oops. Cut and paste it. What if I was to do that? Can I fit another one now? I can't, but I could do this. And then I could. There we go. That's slightly better. Oop, now I'm gonna... You gotta be careful. It's really easy to do simple hiccups like that. Oh, and that probably just affected something, didn't it? Yeah. It's really easy to make mistakes. Oh, buddy, wait. What am I doing? I don't think I intended to do that. Oh no, what am I doing? Is this what I meant to do? I don't even know anymore. I might have just really messed this up. I honestly don't know. I think the green circuits are supposed to come up here. Oof. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I had it right the first time. Side effect of spaghetti. Oh, man. Yeah, I probably just messed this up. Yeah, I just polluted this line. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen now. I guess I just get some circuits here. Big whoop. Yeah, I guess that wasn't so bad. Yeah, it just ruined a whole line. That's how it goes. Should be fine now, but yeah, that's what happens when you have a spaghetti mess. It just makes it harder to triage and debug. Okay. So now, oh yeah, because like, I can't connect it here. But what I could do is, I could just do that. I can make it look pretty later. That's functional enough. Oh yeah, and then I gotta get the steel back onto the main belt. Okay, so that should replace the one that I had and add a little bit of extra speed. Trial and error, trial and error. That's all it is. Wonder how Big Us is doing. I've been neglecting him. And it's doing okay. Yeah, the sooner I get down there, the better. Once I figure out this problem. Because ultimately, this problem is going to impact the second one, because I want to be able to send him laser turrets, but if I can't make laser turrets, then I'm kind of screwed. Like, there's not much I can do about it. But yeah, we shall see. Am I even getting still now? Yeah, I am. It's just, yeah, it's just taking a very long time. Still. But I can definitely do more with, like, this upper line. The other thing I'm thinking is I already have some iron coming down here. Part of me just wants to figure out a way where I could split it off and send it right to where it's needed. Because I'm really desperate for these laser turrets. Like, yeah, it's also important for me to get these electric furnaces done, but it might not be as critical. And in fact, like, it might make more sense to just try to find a way to separately feed this side if I split it off. Because if I do that, you know, I'm splitting my output by 2, and I'm feeding half to these 2 and half to the other 2, versus, like, it's all going through one lane, and the first 2 get priority order because they're first. By that, I mean, like, it's got to go through engines, robo-frames, then furnaces, and then laser turrets. But what I kind of want to do is, you know, just split the output and then say, like, okay, robo-frames and engines get, engines get first pick, and then robo-frames, and then laser turrets get, like, second first pick, if you will, followed by electric furnaces. And that way, there becomes, like, a more even distribution between these 2 separate lines. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm leaning that way. I kind of just want to go for it. I'm glad I got my iron production up, but I think that's only gonna helps so much. Probably even fit like another burner here or something. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess like let's think, kind of brainstorm ways I could do that. Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. I guess something to start. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, man. I need to think about this. So that's green circuits and something else. Green circuits, and actually just green circuits until you get to the end, and then it's red circuits. Essentially what I want to do is I want to reverse this horizontal line, which is tough because I'm already kind of pulling it into here, but that's... yeah, that has a couple different issues because I'm actually feeding it in from the north. Yeah, it just kind of flows naturally the way I have it. Block this over here. So what should I do? Well, I can reverse the battery line, and I could actually just bring it straight down, which is a pretty easy solution. Let me actually play this one out a little bit, because that might be fun. So what I'm saying is, like, why don't I just do this? And sure, I still have to deal with like the robo frames or whatever, but let's say that's not a problem. Let's put them over here or something for a second. Okay, like I'm still gonna have an issue there. But I can deal with that in a moment. And then what I can do is, okay, just reset all of these guys or just remove them. And, you know, connect the red circuits back up for now. Do something like that. And then, okay, I'm still gonna need to filter out these robo frames, but there's a couple different ways I can do this. I think another way is I could just do something like this. And where are robo frames? I gotta find them. Logistics mobile, or no, it was this intermediate products. Yeah, so there's robo frames. So now I'm gonna say filter out the robo frames and put them on the left lane. So that'll just prevent them from coming out of the right lane on this switch, so they won't continue onwards. That already looks cleaner. It's not great, but it's a little cleaner than it was. Okay, cool. So then that opens up this bottom lane, something else. But the issue still remains that, like, you know, I can do that, but I'm still gonna want to get iron on this other lane. Like, what I'm saying, the right lane is free right now. I guess it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a secondary problem. Like, maybe not try to hit two different problems at once. Like, I could also just increase throughput just to help these guys. I'm still not going to be using all of them. Like, I'm still really only hitting, like, maybe the first, maybe the second assembler here. But, you know, it's a partial solution. One thing at a time. I'm just trying to fix laser turrets, so let's focus on that problem. So, okay. What I'm saying is, let's split this off. And then now I need to get this steel over there. So how do we want to do that? Well, we could do something like this, I think. see if this works. Boom. There we go. Spaghetti mess. But it works. Look, so now we're making laser turrets. These actually take a lot more to produce. Yeah, it might be good if I even just keep this separated, and then I can deal with this, like I was saying, as a separate problem. Oh, but, okay, it's feeding 3. That's a little better than I thought. So if I just get my steel throughput up, that should fix a lot of this. And, you know, there's little tweaks I can do. Like, I know that... Let's see. I'm starting to eat into this motor one. Yeah, we might be running into what's really an iron throughput issue, which is kind of what I was describing before. What I was alluding to, yeah, because now I can see like the input belts of iron, they're pretty spaced apart. There's actually another word for this. It's not throughput. It's like throughput and something else, but yeah, like you can see that there's empty spaces between them. I was actually just watching something on this earlier, but that just indicates that there's not enough coming in. We have a freaking train here, man. I might need 2 trains unloading, which is another can of worms. I can sure enough like add another one. And that's probably what I'll end up doing once I get to that other patch, is I'll add a train. And that way I can have like 2 trains bringing their supply. Oh my god, just so much stuff. So much to think about. Sometimes it can get a little exhausting, but you know. It's fun when you figure stuff out, when you start to see it go your way. It's pretty rewarding in that way. Okay, but the bottom line is, okay, so we're getting... Ooh, maybe not. Now we're running low on circuits. Oh yeah, because there were no circuits flowing and shit, so like, we do have another problem. Yeah, it might be... It might be that I just... Yeah, there's not enough iron flowing. Fuck. Yeah, okay. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, I can see the problem. There's just not enough iron coming through here. And because there isn't, we're not even really reaching this last assembler. So we're not making any green circuits. I think that's going to help a little bit. This bottom line is really fragile. Yeah, I kind of want to avoid taking steel from here until I figure out my iron throughput issues, because otherwise it's just not going to flow enough. I think that helped quite a bit. I can already see a ton flowing through. So we'll see. Again, trial and error, see how it plays out. But that already looks a lot better. Sometimes a simple reorg can give you just what you need, and then you can figure out the long-term problems later. Again, it's patchwork, which is not ideal, but, you know, it's dependent on the situation. Like right now, I don't really want to spend too much time clearing bugs. So this is good enough. How is the green circuit problem? Is it getting resolved here? It looks like there's more coming through. Yeah, now I'm starting to see it up by... Again, because it's like a slow start. Now we're starting to see it up by the bot frames. They're starting to get fed. So ideally, I'll be able to see this is working if I'm seeing green circuits go past the last assembler. Which I'm not yet. That's probably because these guys were starved. So that's, again, like the slow start. Slow start to me means like, okay, I've got to feed everything in priority order, basically the order that it's placed. So like these assemblers are the next priority order. So I have to wait for them to basically get fed up. And then once they're full, you know, they've eaten their fill, then the green circuits are going to continue on to the next line. Which again is not a great Factorio practice. This is exactly why you should using what is it called? I'm blanking. Oh, it's on senpai time. But I mentioned it before. I can't think of it right now. I'm gonna shout it out when it comes back to it. Oh, oh, bus, a main bus. Yeah, main bus. So this is the exact argument as to why you should use a main bus, right? Because if you're just hitting all of your assemblers in priority order, it's really difficult to troubleshoot and figure out who is just sucking all of your resources, who is consuming everything. Okay, cool. So now we're actually getting past that last assembler. We have a little bit of excess, so that signals to me that this is at least a partial success. Like, we're getting there. So what that means is now we should start to see them. Well, they're gonna go to bots. The bots don't take too many. Yeah, we'll have to see. It's really dependent on if it gets past this one. This is like the final consumer. If we get past this one, then we're good. But fortunately, I fixed the bots going to the train problem, so that helps. See, they're all backed up now. They're not going to go through unless the train resets. Yeah, I don't know. We might need to increase green circuits a little bit more because I don't think this is going to work. Yeah. So the way around that is, unfortunately, I gotta cut this guy off. Sorry. But that should help a ton. Yeah, so it looks like the workaround is to kind of like really load up on the northern steel. Subtract from the southern steel because the southern steel is a short belt, and I want to give higher priority to the later items. Okay, there was a bit of a slow start there too. I think I just started to see like circuits pass through. Oh yeah, and then the other thing too is like those green circuits eventually go to these what are they called? Productivity modules. So they're not even going there, which feeds into purple science. That's kind of what I was. So the ultimate thing here is like I'm not making enough purple science because everything else is just eating my complex. What are they called? Like, yeah, like intermediate products. Like my intermediate products are going to everything else, but the products necessary to make my science. So my research is kind of halted because of that. Okay, but now we're actually getting green circuits into the system. So that's going to help a ton. I have a feeling I'm definitely going to need more, especially if I want to do research. But again, like one thing at a time. I just want to make sure that I'm getting laser turrets created again. Which I am. But man, this is a painful process. The easiest thing is like, oh, just get more iron, but that's also not easy. That's also a very difficult problem to solve, given these conditions. Again, if the biters weren't so hostile, this would be a non-issue. I could just have iron pumped in immediately, but you know, you gotta think a little bit outside of the box when you're given these harsh conditions. Fortunately, this seems to be working at least a little bit better. Yeah, now because of the slow start, we're starting to see it take effect. Yeah, so that was like 5 that kind of went through. Oh, but I actually have 2 different bots. I forgot about that. You know what? One other thing, because these aren't super necessary. So one thing I could do, a little hack, is instead of using blue inserters, I could use yellow to slow them down. Actually, wonder if that's gonna... Oh, he's having trouble reaching now. Interesting. Well, I mean, that's fine. But yeah, so there's something called like rotation speed, 302 degrees a second. It's a little complicated, but it's like, you know, a little less than half of the blue. So they're not going to take as much off the belt. So that'll let even more through. That way I don't have to cut off my iron anymore, because The bots are less necessary. I do have a bit of an excess of bots, which is why these are filled up. I'm not as worried about creating more bots. I just want to make sure I have a little bit extra in case some get destroyed, because that happens all the time. Like, they just go out and fix something and the fighters destroy them. Okay, cool. This is starting to look a little bit more like what I had envisioned. I think I'm ultimately still going to have some tube prep issues, but I just want to mitigate them as much as I can for now and focus on the task at hand. Okay, sweet. I wonder if I read this. Yeah, I have 4 in the system, and I had 0 before, so I'm actually making laser turrets now, and they're going to the train car, so that's awesome. And I think some are going to this passive provider, but the reason that there's none in there is because I think, yeah, I'm actually requesting 10, so it's feeding some to me too. And I think I put some down as soon as I got some on this wall. Yeah, there's just so few of them, but I need these guys. Like, I need defense, and these are the prime way I help defend my bases, because especially as I expand outwards, like, it's going to be so difficult to send all these bases ammo. Like, the logistics involved, like, I'm gonna have to send ammo with cars. I'm already doing that, but again, that's iron, and I need iron. You need iron for ammo. But, you know, when you're this desperate, I'd rather use electricity. I can pump out uranium, no problem. And that's generating me like 40 megawatts now. And that's not even like that's most of what I need there, if not all of what I need. So I'd rather save that iron for a different purpose and just go with a more expensive turret solution. And then I could also use like flame turrets, but there's more logistics involved in that too. Like, I need to pump it out and send essentially like the fuel or whatever that they use. And I have a good deal of that too, but it's just painful. The laser turrets really are, I think, the best bang for your buck in more of the later game, before you get like artillery or something, which I'm nowhere near. I really need that. It still seems like this last one is starved, but okay. I think we've kind of hit this as best as we can. We have like a semi-working solution. I can always do something to make this better later on. But for now, this puts the base in a more operable state, so it can be more self-sufficient. There's still going to be this ultimate problem of science, because if I can't get green circuits into these productivity modules, like, I'm screwed. I can't produce any more science, and that really sucks. Like, that's just going to prevent me from doing anything going forwards. But one thing at a time. Yeah, I think the next thing I want to do is, now that I actually have a couple of these, I want to go and feed my latest WAN. And so I'll do that. Actually, I can do it from here. It's a mistake I made last time. So let's see. So there's 7 laser turrets on this train car. That's a good start. So what I'll do now is I can actually manually say, like, okay, go to WAN 4 and refill it. And I'll actually stick around and see how this plays out. But this is the guy that I had made previously. It's definitely not enough turrets, but it's a start. Hopefully this won't really screw me. I just want to make sure that I'm giving him some stuff, because right now he has nothing. Like, he's completely starved. So I want to make sure that he has, like, some of these important resources, like repair packs and whatnot, just in case the area gets attacked or the bugs expand too much. And also just test to make sure this is working. Okay, sweet. And so this is a cool live stream, right? So like he just arrived, he's feeding everything. I don't think we're gonna have enough laser turrets, yeah, because my condition is 10. And also we're taking too many walls. So yeah, it's not perfect, but it's a start. And that's all this is. And yeah, they have a ton of bots. So I'll actually just send him back to main. Because I overfilled with bots on this car. There's so many bots. It's fun to watch this play out. But yeah, this is that iron corridor. You can see it's just fully packed with bugs. Goes around. That's also not a great thing that he has to go all the way down here, but you know, I'd rather him level off at land 4, you know, get that important bit done and then head back. And then I'll send him back out again later. But this is definitely a lot faster than having me come on foot. And eventually I'll make it so that all the trains have a better fuel source, so they'll go faster. Like right now I have a shit ton of solid fuel. And I should be able to make rocket fuel soon. So either one of those two, I can start to load up the trains to use that as a fuel source. Oh, hey, more laser turrets. You know what? I'm gonna send him off again. Yeah, this guy's getting desperate. As soon as I unload that, those 3 laser turrets, I'm definitely gonna send this guy back up north. Okay, that's probably fine. Send him back. Yeah, he's definitely gonna need more, but that's a good start. I doubt they're gonna expand that rapidly anytime soon, because I don't even have like any extraction stuff going on here, so there's like no pollution. Like if I was to get rid of I don't know why that's down here. Logistics. And just show pollution. Like there's no pollution here, so it should make sure that they don't really evolve in this area, because I think they only really evolve if they're touching the red pollution border. Since there's nothing really going on there, I don't have a huge worry, but you know, I think they still do expand over time, so I gotta make sure. Okay, so again, I guess the next thing I'll do, I've got a band-aid fix for that. I'll go jump in my tank, and we'll make a little trip down south. Actually, what do I have on me right now? Yeah, I got plenty of repair packs and turrets and stuff, so I should be fine. Look at that guy trying to give me something. You're so helpful. living their best life. Ah, once in a while that happens. I don't really have any like designated roads or anything, so once in a while I'll break my own stuff. Alrighty. Yeah, I'll have to go and add those items later too. So much to do. Okay. Or you might be like, oh, God, what are you doing on the tracks? So dangerous. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, if I'm going to deal with this problem, I'm definitely going to need some support. Oh, fuck. Ooh. You know what? Load save. Yeah, that is exactly what I'm worried about. So I need a solution that's going to kind of work these conditions. Okay, my iron train's gonna be coming down in a minute. Just gonna shit a ton of turrets. Yeah, I'm zigzagging these guys for a reason. That's gonna help me. Kind of see why in a minute. And something like this. As soon as I figure out what it is I'm trying to do. What is my own ask here? I don't really know. Just kind of making shit up as I go. Yeah, I didn't need to do that, but part of my thing is at least semi-consistency. Yeah, something like this. So I'm just gonna have like the turrets feed each other. It's like a nice little hack if I don't want to like force feed all of them myself. Ideally I'd have them like just go to one, but you know, this works. There we go. So that'll give me a nice little turret line, at least to start. Ah, now I actually have to deal with these guys. Dude. God, there's so many. Like, I feel like I need even more turrets because how in the hell am I supposed to deal with this? Okay. Okay. Hopefully that works. We'll see. Okay, I think so. Alright. Well, time for good measure. Okay. Come on, you dumb bugs. Ooh. Yeah, I already fucked up. Well, that was a fantastic demonstration of how hostile the world space is. Let's try this again. Yeah, I really have to do like strafing runs or this just does not work. Oh my god, I can't even like deal with them. There's so many. It's just, there's too many for even my turrets. Wow. Okay, at least I destroyed that one. But that being said, I barely dented them. Let me actually take a quick look and see what I got. But yeah, let's consolidate here. Ooh, environmental solve too. I think I requested to. And let's say while I'm in the tank, make things faster in case of that. But yeah, I want to call both of these sections, and I really want to destroy this bottom base, because otherwise it's going to be a huge problem. Okay, let me take care of this turret. This worm. Ooh. Oh, this is bad. Yeah, there are so many. So hard to keep track. Oh my god. Yeah, like, I have to break out my flamethrower and I barely even do that. Right. Yeah. I am. Oh my lord. Yeah, this is not sustainable at all. But I think this really gets the point across. It's like, it takes a lot just to even kill a few bugs nowadays. Oh, and there's another bug base here. Oh my god, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. It's just so much. Through it. I might have to cut this one short. I guess let me send out one more resupply, but probably going to have to come back in the next episode. Think of a better solution. Oh my god, look at all of those bodies. Just blocking my fucking rail line, man. There's so many. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to piecemeal it, and that's usually how it goes. And then I'll probably end up building over here too, like just adding some of my own defensive structures, kind of like I did with this other corridor over here. that'll prevent them from expanding too much. But yeah, I'm gonna have to like cut through these guys because otherwise they're just gonna completely take over. Like this didn't even exist like 2 or 3 sessions ago. This is newer, so they're evolving. This one was present. This one wasn't. That's brand new. This one's newer, like 2 sessions ago. This one's newish, 5. But yeah, I've just kind of let them overflow here, and eventually they're just gonna cut me off from this iron. So I need to get there. He's looking pretty desperate. Yeah, let's send this guy back. All right, guys. Maybe next time we'll actually have a solution to deal with them. I'm thinking I'm just going to need a shit ton of turrets and ammo. So that's probably going to be the next thing that I do is I'll go back to base, get some of that, and then come back, and then we'll start fresh and just see if we can cull these guys down a little bit. All right. That's it. See ya.